Hey everyone, Ben here, and today we've got our work cut out for us. A massive challenge to recover from an absolute shocker of a qualifying session, which lands us down in 15th position of a grid of 18. Unfortunately, I messed up my first flying lap and then was called back to the pits, so I couldn't complete a second run. Now we're car number 6 in a split of, on average, 1.8k rated drivers, so I should be able to make some progress as the green lights go and we are underway, but it's going to be a very tricky challenge to work my way through some potentially slower drivers towards the rear of the field and still be in contact with the top 10 by the time that I do. And there is a risk on this Silverstone lap as we come into the complex for the first time here that the field spreads out quite a bit, so I've got to get on with it. I've got to make some moves early on this race, and I can see already an opportunity potentially coming through to the left-hander there. Unfortunately, no room around the outside. We flash forward towards the back end of the first lap, and we've seen our first driver make a mistake through the Maggots and Beckett's complex, or just on the exit to it. So that's one position gained, but I'm still running just now in 14th position. But we've got to run on Landman up ahead of me here. I'm going to swerve to the outside, then to the inside, and hopefully get on the brakes just a little bit later, claim the apex. Got to give the other driver room on the outside here. He's got a nose ahead coming through the right-hander, but I'll get the better drive through the very final corner of the lap, and we're going to finish lap 1 then up in 13th position. Great racing action there, and finally we've made some progress and I can look ahead to make up some more positions. This then was the race leader making a mistake coming out of the Maggots and Beckett's complex, getting just a couple of tyres up on the grass, and that's enough to spear his Ferrari off and into the barriers, and that will really be his race over. And then here's my pass on Nikolai Landman coming down into the final set of corners. We're side by side all the way through here, but I get the better run out of the final corner, and that then gives me the position onto the start finish straight. And unfortunately for Landman, he then loses another position just behind me as his exit to the corner was compromised. We rejoin then just a couple of minutes later. We're closing in on Joe Suggs and Alexander Kisa up ahead as we come through to the final part of the lap. And once again, I'm going to be lining up a pass, hopefully, into that final set of corners. We're better on the brakes than the cars up ahead. That allows me to close in, but I'm not really close enough to make the same move down the inside. I'll have a little look just to see if the opportunity's on, and also to close off the closing driver behind. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to settle in behind the driver up ahead for at least another few corners here. I might get a run down into T1. You can see we're very, very close to his rear wing, but it's almost impossible to make a safe pass through this corner. So I get slightly early on the brakes, think better of it. Maybe I'll have a chance coming into the next complex, but ultimately I wasn't able to press home an advantage. So we fast forward to the end of that lap. You can see we've opened up a little bit of a gap to the drivers behind. We're not really close enough to make a move down at this right hand, but again, much better on the brakes here. And so I'm going to try and prioritise a good exit, and then hopefully we'll be able to make the same manoeuvre again. We're going to be down the inside of the driver up ahead. Again, crucial that we hold the apex, but actually it looks like we're even further ahead by this stage of the corner than we were last time out, and that is the move done. But look up ahead now, Kisa and Bauer are fighting hammer and tong as we come down the start finish straight, heading into the first corner. Oh, but Kisa's got too ambitious. He's now going to be wide on exit to the corner. That's going to give me a chance to go around his outside here. I've got to be brave, hold the move, get on the brakes, hit the apex, and that is another position gained. So that's 2 spots up in just a handful of corners. Really important that we're making these gains in the first third of the race. Here then's the replay of the first overtake once again into the final complex of corners on the lap here at Silverstone. A clean overtake once more, and then we were able to take advantage of Kisa up ahead, just getting too optimistic into that opening corner. It compromises his exit. That then gives me a chance to hold it around the outside and then have the inside line for the next corner. We're able to make the apex, and unfortunately for Kisa behind, he's about to lose even more positions as an opportunistic dive from behind forces him wide. And then he has to give up another couple of spots as well, so that did not work out well for him. We rejoin them with just under 10 minutes left to go in this race. We are following Bastian Bauer up into 11th position here, and oh, look at that, he's lost it through the right hander. We very nearly plough into his rear wing, and that is going to put me under huge pressure from Daniel Beckett behind, and in fact he's now ahead of me. We're 3 wide coming down the old pit straight, and we've got John Suggs interested as well behind. Gonna have to be brave and try and hold the inside line through Copse Corner. We're able to do it. So just as we gained a position there, we lost one to Daniel Beckett, so we're not quite up into the top 10 yet. But look off to the left hand side, a driver up ahead rejoining from an accident. That's Iago Perez. He's been way off into the gravel there, so that will be another position gained as we come down onto the hangar straight. What happened there then? Well, here's the sliding yellow Ferrari up ahead of me, very nearly causing an accident. I was just able to get off the gas on the brakes and avoid running into him, but that put us 3 wide heading onto the old pit straight with plenty more cars behind me interested in getting involved as well. I had to hold my nerve on the inside into Copse Corner. Thankfully everybody was pretty sensible all around me there, so there wasn't any big collision. This though is what happened to Iago Perez, hugely combative racing up ahead for P6 in this race. You can see they're going side by side, and ultimately Perez just does not give his fellow Ferrari driver there room. That tips him into a spin and it ploughs him into the barrier, and that is his race over. It wouldn't be the end of the accidents though. Just up ahead of me as we came down the hangar straight, we would see another Ferrari getting it wrong on the inside, just getting 2 tyres up onto the grass. That puts him out onto the escape road and will give me another position. So I'm up now into 9th position as we rejoin the live action with just a few minutes left of this race. So we started in P15, we've made up 6 spots as we get into the closing laps of this race. So that is not bad, but remember, we're car number 6 as we see up ahead. That's Pierre Fratadal getting it wrong through the right-hander. That will be another position gained. So we're up into 8th position now. There he is, losing the back end of his Ferrari. He does not take out the driver up ahead of us, but he very nearly did. We're up into P8, and as I was saying then, I was rated the 6th quickest driver on this grid. We're on to the final lap now. We're in P8, so we've nearly recovered to where our overall iRating suggests we should be as we hit the right-hander here. And there's been another accident. That's George Wilkins off to the right-hand side on the very last lap of this race as he's lost his car coming through that complex of corners. He'll be gutted to have done so late in the race. Here he is then, Wilkins, in the Lego liveried car. Oh, he gets hit by a squirming Ferrari. I bet he bricked it there as he saw the car rejoining, and look at this, he can't rejoin himself without losing a handful, more than a handful of positions. He must be devastated. Really unlucky there, Wilkins, to lose what would have been a solid top 10 finish. We're going to get a great finish, P7 out of this race, despite the fact that we had a disastrous qualifying. So a very good recovery, some good overtakes on track, and profiting from some bad luck elsewhere in the field. So we got a nice bump to our rating, a decent haul of championship points, and actually came away with no impact on our safety rating, which in the Ferrari Fixed is a result in itself. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.